23 years of practice. 23 years of and we beat him. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you Fallout 2.
Fallout Entertainment Industries. Today we're gonna talk about the greatest Fallout 2 player ever in existence, Aaron Weiland.
Thanks for tuning into this masterclass. Today I'm going to teach you turbo gambling.
You want to know why I'm the best video gamer walking the earth today? Because I've shown you more than you deserve, and that's not even half of what I've got.
He's a great source if you actually want to learn more about Fallout 2 and exploits and cheats, and he mastered the game. But sadly, this story will not be about mastering Fallout 2. This story is sadly about schizophrenia, PTSD, and suicide. Mixing that with the Fallout community, the positive side is he's an amazing quote machine. He's really funny. Sad part is it's not really good for your mental state to deal with Fallout drama.
One day I'm just playing games, and I got this guy named Scitzo comes to my channel. A guy named Scitzo comes to my channel. I've got no problem with this guy at all. Except for the fact that he has never developed an original technique in his game. He's not a teacher. He doesn't know how to teach his game. He's not doing anything with his game that's different than anybody else. Won't go against the status quo in his game. He and everybody else. They like to play nice and safe because heaven forbid they actually died on camera. And the worst part was, Scitzo, is that you thought you're good at your game. Look, Scitzo, every wannabe gamer has to deal with this fact. A gamer is what other people call you. You simply play the game.
I will quickly cover the Fallout drama because it's funny. Don't take it too serious. So he was in drama with Scitzo Elijah, TK's Mantis, and a few others.
TK's Mantis, I never said a single negative thing about you. I said that you couldn't play the game, which is true because you fucking suck at games. But that only makes sense because you prioritize 90% of your adult life on workload and stuff like that. There ain't nothing wrong with it, but don't lack the dignity to just understand, yeah, I'm not a gamer. Have dignity, don't get so freaking ashamed by it. Nobody got upset with you. Dude, just seriously. Nobody cared that you couldn't. I cared that you couldn't game because you make content in my fucking business. And if you don't like that I call it my business or my fucking answer, fuck you, you little motherfucker. Suck my calf.
I need to make one thing very clear very quickly. No one's at fault of what happened. This is not TK's Mantis' fault. This is not Scitzo Elijah's fault. This is nobody's fault. It was handled poorly. As everything with TK's Mantis is handled poorly. He's very clear in his last live stream, which I will show you a bit later, why he did what he did. But still, the comments towards TKS is absolutely hilarious. I know he will be really mad at me, but they're really fucking funny.
Did I fucking betray anybody, you cocksucker? I never took a fucking dollar from anybody. I never turned a card on anybody. I never traded anybody. I never betrayed anybody. I didn't sell anybody out. You look at what I've gone through over the past fucking 3 or 4 goddamn months. And you have the balls. To critique me for standing up for what I need to do. This has been the most confusing motherfucking clusterfuck in the history of YouTube as far as I'm concerned. You got a homosexual, apparently fucking retard named TKS Mantis who takes it upon himself to literally spread lies that could get somebody killed. That could get somebody fucking killed. Oh, but that's okay because I got Dante Hope on the case. That's okay, because I got fucking Dante Hope on the case. Hey, don't worry about it. Sirens down, flags down. Everything's a normal situation here. Situation white, right? We're all under control. We got Dante motherfucking Hope on the case.
Back to the more serious stuff. If you want to know what Weiland is in his head, well, he's schizophrenic and he has PTSD. So he was part of the U.S. Marine Corps, URA and all. He was deployed to multiple locations, Afghanistan, Georgia, and a few others. And through these trips, he was treated pretty poorly. He was threatened to be killed by a few members. They did some bad things in Georgia. And at the same time, in his early 20s, he dated a woman of the Ford family, Josephine.
Oh, Josie. So, I started a YouTube channel, and it's called Fall Entertainment Industries, and I freak the fuck out all the time, and I'd talk about you, and I would panic, and I get really depressed and suicidal.
But the relationship didn't last between the two. They were madly in love. He hasn't spoken to her in 18 years, and he's 38 of the time of his death. He had hoped when he was in his early 20s that he would have a life with her, but because she is of higher status, being from the Ford family, it would never work.
First thing I do when I see you on the other side, I'm going to go, "You're the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I let something fall through my hands once, and the burden of living through having lost that thing pains me to this day. And I've walked a low, low road without your love. And I would reach for your hand. And I would say that in that low, low road, I learned all the most valuable lessons in this life."
He did survive through most of those endeavors, but he did have certain mental issues. He went through asylums multiple times during his life, in which, during one of his mental breaks, he went to visit a hospital because he was feeling ill. They put a catheter up to his, ding-along, and it, for some reason, caused infections and a few other issues internally in his body, causing him to bleed and have other issues. And during that entire endeavor, he felt incredibly uncomfortable. There were multiple nurses and doctors during the room because he had a bit of a mental break. He couldn't handle it very well. They asked him, for example, to remove his t-shirt, and he felt violated sexually, very sexually vulnerable, and that was sort of his snap completely.
"The way you ripped my clothes off and you held me down, I want you to be held down, and I want your clothes ripped off. You want to make jokes about me and my penis? That's Josie's fucking property. I want someone to do that to you, to rip your clothes off, men and women, and to make jokes about your fucking penises and your vaginas. How do you think about that? Well, you're held down by people like me, by veterans who are at the bottom and other people who are at the bottom, as low as it goes. And then, yes, I want things forced into your body. Catheters, whatever, I don't even care. You should have put a bullet in my head and you let me go. You thought I could live with what you did? And you never let me see a doctor? I went in to vent. All I wanted to do was vent, and you did hurt me."
This hospital is the Rochester General Hospital. He made a threat towards the hospital in the end of his life. The hospital ended up in a lockdown, and the police went to Weiland's home, where they found some sort of booby trap, which didn't work, and his corpse. Aaron L. Weiland would take his own life on September the 14th, 2022, at the age of 38.
Did you find a way to use me, God? Did I do anything for you? Or am I just a narcissist?
His mental illness was something he was battling for a very long time. He himself doesn't blame anybody.
Scitzo, I thought you were a fantastic friend. Unfortunately, I'm insane. Nothing that happened to me is your fault.
There's quite a lot of sadness in the end. And there's quite a lot. It's quite sad, the last live stream that he had. There's many moments where he talks to Josie, who he talks to you, or talks to God. More or less, what he was asking for in the end was not to be alone. And he felt alone.
Well, Josie, I fucking love you with all my goddamn heart, and I love my family with everything that I have. And I love everybody in the Fallout community, and I love all my friends. And sadly, none of you were there for me in the capacity that I needed, and in my insanity, I was unable to be there in the capacity that you needed. My life, this life, is simply a fucking tragedy. A fucking tragedy. Not a comedy in any way. A goddamn worthless fucking tragedy. I love you all. Have a great life.